Today we're working on lesson 3, the relationship of multiplication and addition. So we'll start with the opening exercise, the classwork. It says write 2 different expressions that can be depicted by the tape diagram shown. One expression should include addition, while others should include multiplication. So we're looking at these squares and thinking about how we could write 2 different expressions that are shown by this tape diagram. So I know if I look here, I see that each of the groups has 3 squares. So an answer that might show addition for this would be 3 plus 3 plus 3. And then an answer, sorry, my 3 isn't very good. And then an answer that might show multiplication. So I know if I look at 3 plus 3 plus 3, a way to show that same expression as multiplication would be 3 times 3. So again, I've used the diagrams to show addition and then to show multiplication as well. So for the next diagram, tape diagram that I'm looking at, for letter B, I'm going to count the squares in each section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I see there's 8 squares. So I could do 8 plus 8, or I could do 2 times 8, because there's 2 groups of 8. One good way to think about this multiplication sign is that it can also, that the words for it can be groups of, so 2 groups of 8. So then I look at the last tape diagram, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 squares in each, so my addition expression, 5 plus 5 plus 5, and my multiplication expression, I have 3 groups of 5. Exercise 1, write the addition sentence that describes the model and the multiplication sentence that describes the model. So we're doing the same thing here in exercise 1 that we did in our opening exercise. So try that one on your own and then check the video. So pause the video, try that one on your own, and then check the video for the answer. So if you did this on your own, you should have written 5 plus 5 plus 5, because again, we have 3 groups of 5, and so the way we show that with multiplication is 3 groups of 5. So remembering that multiplication sign is the words for that are groups of, so that might help you when you're making a multiplication sentence to go with this. So now look at exercise 2. Exercise 2, write an equivalent expression to demonstrate the relationship of multiplication and addition. So in exercise 2, we're going to have some repeated addition as well as some multiplication, and we need to write the other expression that would go along with this. So I look here, 6 plus 6. So I'm thinking of that tape diagram, also thinking of knowing that multiplication sign means groups of. So that would be 2 groups of 6. So 2 times 6 would be my multiplication expression for that. What I would like for you to do is look at B and C, pause the video, try those on your own, and then come back and check. Okay, so what you should have for B and C, for B you should have 6 times 3, because there are 6 3's in that repeated addition sentence, so it's 6 groups of 3. For letter C, you should have 5 times 4, because there are 5 groups of 4, so that would be 5 times 4. D, E, and F give us the multiplication sentence, and we need to be able to write the addition sentence that goes with this. So if I read this using that groups of, then I see 6 groups of 2. So that means that I am adding 6 2's. So I'm going to write a repeated addition sentence that would have 6 2's added. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and 1 more. 6 2's added. And that would be the same as 6 times 2, which we know the product of that, or the answer, is 12. 4 times 6, 4 groups of 6. So that means I would have 4 6's that I'm adding. And then 3 times 9, so 3 groups of 9. So, sorry about that. So I should have 3 groups of 9, so 9 plus 9 plus 9. That's 3 groups of 9. So that's going to give me the same product as 3 times 9, which is 27. Try G and H on your own, and then come back and check the video. So notice we have just the letter H. We don't have a number. So what they're saying is, what would be a good way to show what this would be? So I'm going to count how many H's do I have, just like I would do if that was an actual number. So they've taken a variable and replaced it with the number to help give us the identity, which means the equation that we can use or expression that we can use over and over again to find the answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 H's. So the way I can write this is 5H. Remembering that when there's no multiplication sign between a number and a letter, that means multiplication. 6Y, that means I should have 6 Y's. I should have 6 Y's for that repeated addition. Y plus Y plus Y plus Y plus Y plus Y, and I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always count and make sure that you've done it correctly. So now we're going to look at exercise 2 and read how we can help Roberto, maybe using a number line to understand this concept. Roberto is not familiar with tape diagrams and believes that he can show the relationship of multiplication and addition on a number line. Help Roberto demonstrate that the expression 3 times 2 is equivalent to 2 plus 2 plus 2 on a number line. So a tape diagram is one way we can show it, but we can also show it with a number line. So if we're going to have to show 3 times 2 or 2 plus 2 plus 2, we know the answer to that is 6. So we're going to have at least 6. So I'm just going to do a number line to 10. I'm going to use a horizontal number line. And I'm just going to number it to 10. Keeping in mind we start with 0, and we're just going to have those positive numbers. Might not make it to 10. We're going to go to 8. Try to space them out evenly. So if we want to show 2 plus 2 plus 2 on a number line, or if we want to show 3 groups of 2, we're going to start with 3 groups of 2. So if we want to show that, we know we can start at 0, and we say here's one group of 2. That's our first one. Here's another group of 2 that would get us to 4, and then another group of 2 that would get us to 6. So that might show our 3 groups of 2. We have 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups. Okay, so this would be our 3 times 2 number line, this first number line. Then the second number line, again, we're going to make a horizontal number line. We're going to number it to 8. So we're going to try to create the same number line that we created in the first one. And this time we want to be able to show 2 plus 2 plus 2. So one way we might show that is by using straight arrows. So we start at 0. Here we go to 2. So kind of that arrow math. So we're adding 2 more, which brings us to 4, and then adding 2 more, which brings us to 6. So this number line would be showing the repeated addition sentence of 2 plus 2 plus 2. So just another way to show it. If you weren't familiar with tape diagrams, or which we've done a lot of work with them, or it's something that you don't understand as well, you could use a number line. Number 4, we used yesterday about these equations where we are adding a number and then taking away that same number, and as well as letter B. So it says, tell whether the following equations are true or false, and then explain your reasoning. So letter A says x plus 6g minus 6g equals x. So we're using that same identity that we used yesterday. We just have a g with that 6, which is what we're working on with these equations. So if we were to add 6g and then take 6g away, we would just come back with the same number of x. So we're going to say the equation is true because it demonstrates the addition identity, which is what we learned yesterday and we wrote in our notes what we worked on with our opening exercise, the addition identity, which just says that if you add something and then subtract that same amount away, you're going to come back with your original number. Letter B, 2f minus 4e plus 4e equals 2f. So again, if whatever 2f is, if I have 2f, I take 4e away, I add 4e back, I'm going to come back with 2f. I get that original number back. So this would be true because it demonstrates our subtraction identity, which says that if I start with an original number, I subtract an amount. If I add that same amount back, I'm going to come back to my original number. So this one is true because it demonstrates the subtraction identity. Five A, B, and C, you're going to do on your own, showing the equivalent expression to demonstrate the relationship between addition and multiplication. So start those, work on your own, pause the video, and then come back to check your answers. So number one, our expression was 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So I'm first going to look at those sixes, and I see that I have 4 groups of 6, which would look like 4 times 6, plus I have 3 groups of 4, or 3 4s, plus 3 times 4. So if I were to add these 4 6s and these 3 4s, I would come up with the same answer as if I took 4 times 6 plus 3 times 4. When I look at letter B, I see 3 D's and 5 W's. So if I look at that, again, even though they're variables and they're letters, I can still write a multiplication expression to show that. So if I have 3 D's, it's going to be 3D, and it's going to look like this, plus, I count my W's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5W. Remembering that when you have a number and a letter together, that shows multiplication even if there isn't a sign between them that is a multiplication sign. 3D plus 5W means I've taken 3 times D plus 5 times W. Letter C has A's, B's, and C's. So here we have 3 different variables. So we're going to have to look at them each individually to find our multiplication expression. So I have 2 A's. I count my B's. I have 1, 2, 3. I count my C's. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 2A plus 3B plus 4C. So again, I've just counted the variables. 2 A's would be the same as taking 2 times A. 3 B's, adding those 3 would be the same as taking 3 times B. 4 C's, so adding the 4 C's, adding them 4 times, would be the same as having a multiplication expression of 4C. So 2A plus 3B plus 4C. When you finish number 5, you'll need to bring your book to show me or raise your hand. If I'm with a group, then you can raise your hand. If I'm not with a group, you can bring your book to me to show me that you have finished the whole lesson and completed it. And then you'll be working on the problem set, which I'll give you. The problem set says write an equivalent expression to show the relationship of multiplication and addition. And you'll be doing all 6 of those. So the problem set is a must. Make sure you put your name on it. Don't forget to put your name at the top. So make sure you show me your lesson completed, and then I'll be giving you the problem set.